before tractors, before steel, and before Indigenous Americans built one of the most advanced agricultural systems in human history. When Europeans arrived in the Americas, they found fertile lands producing enormous harvests. What they didn't realize was that this abundance was not natural, it was engineered. For centuries, they dismissed the farming practices of indigenous peoples as primitive. But the truth is, this continent was home to some of the most sophisticated agricultural science the world had ever seen. A testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and a deep understanding of the natural world. This is the story of agriculture and innovation in pre-Columbian America. From the high-altitude Andes Mountains to the jungles of Mesoamerica, indigenous peoples transitioned from nomadic hunting and gathering to settled farming communities. They accomplished this without the tools often considered essential for civilization. No animals like horses or oxen to pull plows, and no metal tools like iron or steel. What they possessed was a different kind of technology, one based on observation, adaptation, and ecological wisdom. This wasn't primitive farming, it was a scientific revolution, conducted with stone, wood, and an unparalleled knowledge of the land itself. Maize, what we now call corn, was painstakingly bred from a wild grass called teosinte into the versatile grain that now feeds billions. High in the Andes, wild tubers were transformed into hundreds of varieties of potatoes, each adapted to a specific microclimate. And it doesn't stop there. Tomatoes, chili peppers, squash, beans, vanilla, and the cocoa that gives us chocolatol are gifts from these ancient innovators. These weren't just wild plants they stumbled upon, they were the result of centuries of selective breeding and careful cultivation. Today, these crops make up a massive portion of the global food supply, a legacy of the genius of America's first farmers. Perhaps one of the most brilliant examples of this ecological engineering is the farming system known as the Three Sisters. First, the corn grows tall, providing a natural pole for the beans to climb. The beans, in turn, are legumes, which pull nitrogen from the air and fix it in the soil, enriching it for all three plants. Finally, the squash spreads its large leaves across the ground, forming a living mulch. This shades the soil, keeping it cool and moist, while its prickly vines deter pests. The Three Sisters system is a perfect model of companion planting and sustainable agriculture. It was ecological science long before the term even existed. In many parts of the Americas, water was the most critical and unpredictable resource. In what is now the southwestern United States, farmers like the Hohokam built hundreds of miles of intricate irrigation canals to bring river water to their desert fields. In Mesoamerica, cities like Teotihuacan were supported by complex networks of reservoirs and channels. Nowhere is this more evident than in the Amazon rainforest. Conventional wisdom says the Amazon's soil is poor and unsuitable for large-scale agriculture, yet archaeologists have found vast areas of a substance called terra preta, or black earth. This terra preta is incredibly rich and fertile, and it has the amazing ability to regenerate itself. It remains productive for centuries, even millennia, after it was created. Modern scientists are still studying this ancient technology, hoping to replicate its properties to create more sustainable agricultural systems for our own time. Let's pause and consider the scale of these achievements. This was accomplished without iron tools, draft animals to pull plows, or even the wheel for transport. This reality challenges our conventional narrative of technological progress, which often centers on metallurgy and mechanical inventions. In the Americas, innovation followed a different path. It was based on biological knowledge, ecological understanding, and intricate social organization. Knowledge wasn't written in books. It was passed down through oral traditions, through observation, experimentation, and thousands of years of accumulated experience. It proves that there isn't just one way to build a complex, advanced society. These sophisticated agricultural systems were the bedrock that allowed great cities and civilizations to rise. They weren't just feeding small villages, they were sustaining massive urban populations. The city of Cahokia, near modern-day St. Louis, was larger than London in its time, supported by vast fields of maize. In Mexico, Teotihuacan and the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan were among the largest cities in the world, fed by innovative Chinampa agriculture. In the Andes, the Inca Empire managed a vast and complex food distribution network that supplied cities like Cusco and fed its armies across thousands of miles. These cities didn't rise by chance. They were possible because their agricultural foundations were powerful, reliable, and incredibly productive. After 1492, the world was forever changed by the Columbian exchange. But this exchange was far from equal. While diseases from Europe devastated indigenous populations, American crops transformed the rest of the globe. Corn, potatoes, and cassava were calorie-dense and easy to grow, leading to massive population booms in Europe, Africa, and Asia. This global agricultural revolution, fueled by indigenous American crops, laid the groundwork for the modern world. Pre-Columbian. Agriculture was not a simple story of survival. It was advanced science, driven by deep knowledge and brilliant innovation. Indigenous American farmers engineered ecosystems, domesticated globally important crops, and built civilizations on the foundation of their agricultural genius. If this video changed how you see ancient history, make sure to like it and let us know in the comments which indigenous innovation surprised you the most. Subscribe for more untold stories from the Americas. Thanks for watching.